Well, if you are like most teachers, by the time you get to the end of your class or last 5 minutes of your class, all you can think about is, man, I just hope that bell rings soon. I'm not sure if you've been in the spot here. Have you ever been in a spot where you've been counting down the minutes thinking, man, hang in there for another minute, that's another $1. I can hang in there for another minute, it's another $1. Well, that's you. If you ever find the last 5 minutes of class just to be some of the hardest parts of your class, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you my tips on what you should do for the last 5 minutes of class so that way you can end the class successfully as well as set yourself up for the next period. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Gabriel Vigil. I'm a teacher in Southern California. I've been teaching for 18 years, and my goal is to create a community where we can come together, provide stories, support, and just tips and tricks of the trade. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and enjoy the video. So here we are in the last 5 minutes of class, and things have gone, hopefully they've gone well, maybe they've gone bad. Either way, here we are at the last 5 minutes of class, and how we wrap up this class, like I said, is going to set us up for not only set us up for the next class, which is extremely important, finish strong this one, start strong on the next one, but also it'll set an expectation for students so that way you can teach from bell to bell. So 5 minutes of class. First thing is, it's important that the students know the routines. So you want to establish at the very beginning. My students know that the bell does not dismiss them, I dismiss them. So that's the one thing you got to make sure, because if they think they can go whenever they want to, when the bell rings, and then you're going to have all sorts of trouble. So make sure it's very clear to them, as well as to yourself, that they do not go when the bell rings, they go when you dismiss them. So that's the first thing you got to make sure is established. And the other thing is, if you really are going to make sure it's bell to bell, and you really are going to expect certain things from them, you got to hold your part of you got to hold up your end of the deal, and that is you got to make sure you get them out on time. Because the worst thing to do is hold them, to the very last minute without giving them a chance to pack up and everything else. Now they're late for the next class. Now they're stressed. Now they're scrambling. So for me, I always have my watch on. Always have my watch on, and I'm constantly looking at the time. It's only fair to my students that I make sure I am punctual, dismissing them, punctual, give them enough time to pack up, so that way they can get to the next class if I'm expecting them to, once again, to work from bell to bell. So those two things set the foundation, and then from there you should be able to create the expectation, and they should be able to carry out what your expectations are. And so the 5 minutes, so here we go, 5 minutes before the bell rings. What I make sure I'm doing those last 5 minutes is I want students to be working on something independently, not with my assistance, independently. Maybe it's a worksheet. If we're taking notes in class, it is a summary they can work on. If it's a video, they're watching the video. If they're working in groups, something they can work on groups. But once again, has to be done independently without my assistance, because I want to have those 5 minutes of the end of class to do my end of class routine. And if students are asking me questions or I'm still assisting students, then I can't do my end of class routine. So whatever they're working on, it has to be done independently. And then what I can do, once again, I have my eye on the clock, last 5 minutes of class, I make sure students are not packing up. Once once one student packs up, they all start. Once that first sound of zip, zip, and are putting books away, or books closing, it's over. And then the rest of the students quickly start doing that, and there go your last 5 minutes of class. And then they have time, if they pack it up in 1 minute, got 4 minutes of rowdiness. And so make sure no one packs up until you give them the okay to pack up. So 5 minutes, watching my watch, here's what I'll do. They're working on something independently. I'll take those 5 minutes to walk the room. And so I'll walk the room, just kind of walk around, and I'll make sure kids are working somewhat, but my priority is just checking the room for things. So I'll look at the desk to make sure the desks are clean. I'll make sure there's no real big trash on the ground. I also have students pick up the trash on the ground. And I just kind of walk through and make sure no one's goofing off. And I'll walk through the room maybe once or twice, making sure that is the case. Desk clean, ground looks fairly good, those basic things. Then I'll kind of walk the room again. And as I'm walking the room, part of this walking the room is making sure, the kids start packing up and make sure, the level expectation is still there. And then I'll walk around the room and make sure students have names on paper or whatever else I need them to do as far as the assignment. Once again, they're working independently. And that usually takes about a minute, 2 or 3. And then, so now we got about 2 minutes of class left. And here's how I go. Here's the verbiage I use at this point in time. I'll say, all right, guys, we've got 2 minutes of class left. Go ahead and pack it up. Make sure you stay in your seats, but go ahead and pack it up. Make sure your name is on your paper. Make sure you counted your points. And whatever last minute instruction I have to give them, I'll tell them. A lot of times we're doing notes. Part of my routine is they'll put their paper in the out bin or the in bin on the way out. I'll say that at the end. But bottom line, once again, make sure your name is on the paper, make sure points are counted. Go ahead and pack it up. But when the bell rings, wait for the bell to ring before you're good to go. Something like that. But they need a verbal thing from me saying it's okay to go. And then once the students basically get up and leave, I am standing by the door, once again by the door, to make sure I'm controlling how students leave, right? If they're running out, that's a problem. You don't want students running out, Also, I can see if they're maybe did something to the desk before they left or threw a book on the ground, I can stop them at the door before they leave. So I'm standing right by the door, keeping an eye on my class. So I'm looking at my class, making sure that everything goes as it's supposed to. And then, of course, when students leave, then at that point in time, I quickly segue right into getting ready for my next class because we only have like a 4-minute passing period. So as soon as they leave, I quickly get my next class set up, whatever it may be. But because the first class left things in order, the second class, I'm going to go right into it and make it real smooth. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please click on one of the links that you see next to me, either here or here. That might be of interest to you. And have a wonderful day.